Welcome to Picks and Hobbies. Today I would like to talk about 7 best upgrades and mods for HG P407. There are 2 must-do upgrades and mods, so I'll talk about them first. Number 1 is front steering servo mod, where you'll relocate the steering servo to front and upgrade to a high torque servo with metal 25 teeth horn. P407 comes with a steering servo, which is mounted in the electronic box in the rear of the body, connected by a plastic servo saber to a long linkage to the front, which is then connected to a plastic connector, then connects to another string link to the string mount. That's a lot of linkages, and thus it has a lot of play in the string system. You can get rid of a lot of that play by mounting a string servo to the front directly. Here's an example of the front string mod. There are several ways of doing it. All of them involves replacing a metal plate with either a 3D printed file like I have used here, or purchasing an Emperor's Engineering's mount, or using 1-inch aluminum angle so that you can hold the string servo. The string servo basically connects directly into the axle, allowing for a much better improved string. Here are a couple of cheap but effective servo options. The one on the left is the Animos 25 kg digital servo with a full metal gear. The nice thing about it is that it also comes with a 25 teeth metal horn that you can use, which is actually being used in my P407. The other option, but a little bit more expensive option, is to go with the Power HD 23 kg. Tests have shown that the 23 kg Power HD servos actually perform much better than the 25 kg Animos servos that you can find on Amazon. Number 2 upgrade, replace the stock bearings. The stock bearings are very poor quality. You would want to replace them with good quality seal bearings, either from DSM or Fast Eddie's bearing kit. Personally, I would recommend DSM bearing kit. I went with Fast Eddie's, but the kit is missing 3 of the 10 by 5 by 4 millimeter bearings, which I ended up buying separately to make the full kit. Number 3 is for those that plan to take P407 off-road. You will need to lock the front and rear differential with pins that are included. There is a small hole that you can install the locking pin, but actually there is 2 different sides on the transmission. One side is threaded and the other side isn't. Therefore, I recommend opening the axles, especially when you're opening it up to replace the bearings, to ensure that you are installing it from the correct side and tightening it down accordingly. Number 4, replace the stock tires with better compound. The stock tires are very firm and doesn't have a lot of traction. Most folks run All-Star AX3021, which is a Proline Hyrex copy. It's cheap and works great. Maybe not as long-lasting as the original Hyrex, but at the price you can't beat it. Number 5 is leaf spring mods. There are a few things that you can do to help make it soften up the suspension. One is to remove the 1 leaf springs from each corner. In my case, I removed the smallest one from the front, and I removed the middle ones from the rear, which seems to give it a much better traction for me. Stock shocks are not very good, and they leak. You can make modifications to improve it. You can remove the springs on each shocks, and also you can add washers to make sure that the shocks don't leak. For the rear only, you can turn the rear shackle mounts around. It lets the back flex a little more than the current setup, and lessens the chance of snapping the leaf springs, as it will have enough compression to not overwork the leaves. Next leaf spring mod is called Chino mod. In Chino mod, you grind the end of the leaves at an angle, giving a little bit more room to flex, and you do this all each corners. Last of the leaf spring mod is to break in those leaves. The more you flex it, the better it will be. Number 6, upgrade the ESC. The stock ESC is very difficult to control, especially going backwards. It's very jerky. A better ESC will allow you much more refined control. Most folks recommend the Hobbywing 1080 ESC as one of the better choices out there, and I have to agree. The 1080 has been foolproof. It's been much more refined and offers a lot of programmability that the stock ESC does not. Number 7 is a 12mm hex conversion. A 12mm hex conversion gives you the flexibility to easily swap out the tires and the wheels to your liking. There are several ways of doing a 12mm hex conversion. There are a 3D printed mod options, as well as adapters that you can purchase. But I didn't go with those options. as they tend to stick out the wheels too much. The other option is replace the front and rear axle to UDA 1 or UDA 2 axles. It's easy conversion on the front, but for the rear you'll need to look for a Bruiser axle, which is discontinued and difficult to find. So I went with RC 4-wheel drive 12mm hex conversion kit. It's pretty much a straightforward swap on the front with the slight modifications to the rear to get it done. I'm loving my 12mm hex conversion. It allowed me to swap out to a smaller 1.9 inch diameter wheels that I feel that it fits P407 much better. I hope that you found the 7 best upgrades and mods discussed today informative and useful. Thanks for watching.